Hello, viewers. Kubiando Kith and Kin, welcome back to Roadwarden, where I'm a little concerned at the passage of time. I'm a little concerned at how quickly we have been losing days here. But we do have a lot to show for it. I think it's worth noting. So there are these little icons accumulating around the screen, sort of suggesting our achievements, our accomplishments, and it's worth noting we've picked up a few in the last I believe just in the last little while, surviving many confrontations with hostile creatures, becoming a skilled forager. Like, these are things that will matter, right? We're approximately halfway through our time here, and I think it feels like we're adjusting to the place very well. We have a ton of food, we have good stats, we have actually a reasonable stack of coins, we have multiple healing potions on hand. Like, I don't. I'm nervous because I would really, really, really like to feel like I have some kind of direction, which I don't at the moment. But I think we're in good position to deal with whatever direction we may receive from here. The question is just like, what do we do, right? I kind of want to go over to Beholder. So here's what I'm thinking. If we want to continue working with creeks, we're going to have to stay the night in Foggy Lake, or at Foggy's place, right? Because we have to get to creeks very fucking early to run those patrols, and that's the only way that they will ever trust us enough to actually come down here and clear this out. And clearing the Eastern Road is definitely of value to our overall mission of preparing the place for trade, even if that is maybe not. I'm still not exactly sure how this is all going to go down with giving our report to the people who originally hired us. I want to do enough of a job that we get paid by the people who initially hired us, but not so much that we actually prep the area for trade and have a bunch of Southerners coming in here, because, like, very clearly, the people whose side I am taking do not want that. But yeah, that's a thing that we could do, and we would get paid well for doing, at the very least. The other two thoughts I have right now are, I think we should go to Beholder. I think this is what we're going to do next, is we're going to go to Beholder and offer it some blood, and if it seems to be empowered by our blood, I'll give it whatever I can, and then we have healing potions if we need them. And then also, I think it might be a good idea for us to return to the heart of the forest. We know a lot more now about the area as a whole. We're stronger. Well, we're more knowledgeable anyway. I guess, like, physically we're at approximately the same strength as we were last time. Yeah, that's my hope. We do have more. We do have, like, the withering powder and stuff. We have more tools than we did last time. I could go to the Pelt, sell healing potions, return to Foggy's to make healing potions, because we make a healthy profit on that, right? Let's go back to the Pelt real quick. This is on our way to the trees anyway. Sounds of work coming from the armorer's workshop. Out of curiosity, okay, yeah, he didn't have anything to sell us. Then let us enter the inn, speak to the innkeeper. Healing potions for 8 coins each. As far as we can tell, we have an infinite number of like wound warts and stuff, right? Oh no, okay, my bundle of black wound wart has run out. Okay, so we cannot necessarily just produce infinite potions and run the loop. Okay, that being the case, as much as I would like money, I do think trying to ward off the plague is probably a more important use for these things. Yeah. Alright, let's not do that then. We have 2 potions, and I may need them both, potentially. Why am I down 2 points of appearance? Hold on. Character sheet. Maxed out cleanliness. My clothing's all fucked up, that's for sure. And then, right, you only get to 4 points unless you have fancy clothes. Okay, so our effective cleanliness cap, our effective appearance cap is 4 right now. Okay, yeah. Let's head over to Beholder and see what's what. You said magic or blood, right? Or rather, blood works because there's magic in it. The tree is perfectly still and hasn't changed a bit since the first time you saw it. A large black and green bird is sitting on the altar. When you get closer, it spreads its wings and flies away. Okay, approach the altar. I make an offering. What is your sacrifice? Blood? Maybe I should specify my blood. How much? Okay, you really get to dial this in, huh? I mean, fucking... As far as we can tell, the vitality potion completely refills your health, right? Fucking let's go for it. Because, yeah, we were at 0 vitality before. And I can't imagine giving up my blood doing anything other than lowering our vitality. As much as I can before I faint. Let's go big. I wanna know if this is really going to have an effect. Okay. Your blood spills on the altar and sinks into it before it gets to the edge. The tree greets your offering with the sound of moving, stretching branches. You try to ignore the pain and prepare water and bandages to take care of the wound. And then... Sorry, let me... Okay, I step away from the altar because everybody knows you can't drink a potion when you're near an altar. Kabam! Honey, raspberries, and wormwood. Delicious. Okay. So that did something. Take a closer look at the roots. I'm not going to do anything. I was kind of wondering if they would, like, be different. The tree is moving slowly. Some of the branches are now visibly longer. So I could offer it my blood again. We could also potentially offer it some of our any magical item we have. Am I allowed to offer it the spirit rock? Make an offering, spirit rock. Okay, yeah. As soon as you lay it on the stone slab, the pebble hisses for less than a single breath and shatters into dozens of tiny rocks, not much larger than grains of sand. The tree greets your offering with the sound of moving, stretching branches. Okay, that's good. I mean, I sort of wish I hadn't... I don't know. For some reason, when I typed that, I was kind of hoping that we would get like a notification of whether it was possible, and then would have to click again to actually spend the thing. Kind of like with the blood, right? Because I don't know, we might have wanted that for something else. I guess it's done now. The tree looks good, though. The tree branches and roots are moving slowly in a way that can't be justified solely by the wind. Offer a magical item. I could give it a healing potion directly. I wonder if that's better or worse than... It's got to be at least as good as bleeding for it, right? But I want to actually hold on to this other healing potion. This second healing potion is for going through the heart of the wood. I could give it my withering dust. That feels counterproductive, though, right? giving a plant the plant withering dust to attempt to grow it. I'm gonna walk away. I'm glad we did something. I also don't know if this is a thing where we need to just like pour resources into it, or if it's more of a thing where like it's growing over time and we accelerate the rate of growth by giving it things. So, you know, maybe we need to leave it alone for a little while now that we've fed it, because it seems to be growing visibly. It would be 2 hours out to the fishing hamlet. How far into the day are we? Okay. I'm wondering if I want to just go into the heart of the forest again. It would probably be best to end the day at Foggy Lake. Maybe we should just... Yeah, maybe today is not a day for the Heart of the Woods. Maybe today we just push up here. We visit Old Pagos and the fishing hamlet again. Not Old Pagos, sorry. That we visit the monastery. There'd be very little value in visiting Old Pagos yet. And then just try to end our day at Foggy's. I just... There's got to be way more to explore in the heart of the woods, right? But I'm worried. I'm a little worried that maybe we won't be able to without some kind of specific information. Do we have anything... anything that would be of value to the people in Howler's Dell? I think at this point we don't, right? Yeah, there's the Tribe of the Green Mountain, a sharp blade, a cask full of golden liquids, spices from another land. We still don't know about Dahlia, who looks for beasts in the open by the roads. You would think we would have stumbled across whatever. Yeah, I agree with Ela on this. It is wiser to handle the Necromancer by myself. I just can't fucking figure out a way to do it. Yeah, we've learned a lot from the ruined village. I'm not going to give Photios the spirit rock because he's going to kill his daughter with it if he tries to use it on her. Okay, yeah, I don't think there's particularly any reason to go back to Howler's Dell right now. Let's go to the fishing hamlet and just see if Dace's daughter has anything for us. The hamlet is peaceful, silent like a dead tree. A small monkey is sitting on one of the roofs, feasting on a fish larger than its arm. You catch a whiff of a roasted bird and see smoke coming from the largest building. I return to Egidia. She waves at you from a distance. Her voice is bright. Good to see you alive. Yeah, hey, is this your necklace? She doesn't reach for it, and instead lowers her head to your open palm. Nah, 'tis ugly. You found it here? Must be old, from before my time. What about this arrow? I found this arrow near a fallen tree, and it is fletched unusually. Could you tell me about this? Ah, my expertise is required. Her smile turns into a chuckle. Let me take a look. She returns it to you after a few moments. This is nothing special. Where'd you find it? It wasn't used in a hunt, was it? I found it on the side of the road. What makes you say that? The people from Gale Rocks make those. Orange and black, you see? She points at the fletching. Colors for combat. Human arrows, as I was told. It is a spell thing of theirs. Brown feathers are for deer, green and orange are for goblins, and so on. Spell thing? Does it work? She gives the arrow back. How can one tell? They say it works. Maybe it's a ritual or something, like a secret. A Fletcher may know it. Did I search Gale Rocks for Fletchers? I'm not sure if I did. Hey, I saw your boat. If I was ever in need of borrowing one, would you care? Of course I would care. 'Tis my boat. Well, kind of. No, wait. She raises her chin. Yes, 'tis my boat, and 'tis the cheap. She pauses. Though, I do owe you a favor. We may figure something out. Okay. I mean, that was information, at least. So, we could head up to Gale Rocks. It'd be 6:30 to get to Gale Rocks. I think we would have time to get back to Foggy's, because we know staying in Gale Rocks does not give us time to get to Creeks fast enough, right? I think that's a thing we know. It's like an hour and a half. I was hoping that opening the old tunnel would make that considerably faster. It doesn't seem to have changed things very much, if it's changed them at all. We could go back to the monastery. We do have the right symbol on a necklace now. Maybe this makes them trust us more? Maybe. Let's go talk to them at least. It's been a while. We may end up not being able to go to Gale Rocks today, and that would be fine. I'm just curious if there's any other information we can press with them. The road is still covered with the peddler's leftovers, as well as all the leaves and branches on the ground. But at least the beast is nowhere in sight, even though there are some fresh paw prints just nearby. Your plan worked just fine. Alright, let's hope the locals won't be upset about all these wasted fruits. Or that they won't know that I'm responsible. Either way is good. A large red saurian is laying in the middle of the path, basking in the sun, but flees at your sight, climbing down the rocks as if they're a floor. You spot just a few hooded figures by the brook. The loud thudding of tools that comes from the cave mouths echoes through the valley. You call the monks by hitting the sticks, and the drawbridge lowers. Ailey gestures for you to enter the storage house with his bandaged hand. Warden, he nods. Is all right? His young companion is right next to him, observing your palfrey. Everybody loves the palfrey. Say, what do you know about necromancers in the north? He rubs the liver spots on his forehead with his bandaged hand, looking with one eye at his short companion. This and that. Well, I saw Aurentius's ritual. He strengthens his weak spells with blood magic. During your report, Ailey avoids Decima's piercing gaze. That would clarify some doubts. His tribe was always weak on Numa, but from what thou sayest, he's not a sorcerer, but a madman. He finally looks back at his companion. His voice grows stronger. And we'll need to take it to our prelate. I was kind of hoping that would be sufficient to let me hear something else. I have a delicate matter to discuss about Aurentius, actually. Ailey turns around, gets closer to the rock face, and observes the hourglass, listening to your case. I already know our prelate's response. His tone could be explaining that every autumn is followed by winter. Thou mayest think there's a difference between the tribe of druids and the tribe of necromancers, but they're both lost to their desires. With enough time, they'll find themselves dwindling. There's no reason for us to interfere. Okay, so this place is still basically a complete dead end. Alright. So it is. 4:45 remains. I can't even make it to Gale Rocks anymore. Do I want to stop at the old forest garden? I don't have time to forage before nightfall, probably. Yeah, I could get there, but I'd have to just... Let's stop there at least. Okay, I could spend half an hour foraging. The sparse trees and shrubs grow strong, but there are no fruits left, only bird nests among the branches, and leftovers spread in the short grass. There are quite a few ripe fruits in sight. There are no fruits left, except for these fruits. 2:15, I'm just making sure. Okay. I mean, it says half an hour. It seems like we'll be safe. Most of what you find are sour apples, juicy plums, and a few clumps of sorrel. Okay, cool. Good enough. Let's take a moment over here at Foggy's. So, out of curiosity, yeah, we did fully run out of black wound warts, so we'd have to find more. It may be the case that we are done making healing potions, honestly. I think I'm going to go ahead and do this. I'm going to make the poison. I don't know if we'll use it. We'll still have enough money left to be able to do most of the kinds of things we'd want to do, but also we might be able to, if this is in fact full of Numa, we might be able to just put it up for Beholder, right? Let's do it. You can't dry up the mushrooms, so you cut it in cubes and fry it above a gentle flame while keeping the orange petals in the hot air. You pick the mortar and pestle and prepare various dried herbs, tearing them with your fingers. You're almost sure that at least the sage is not essential for the recipe, but adding to the powder's final volume will reduce the substance's intensity and will make dosing easier. The pleasant smell of a dinner is followed by long minutes of chopping, smashing, and grinding. Finally, the Numa fills your creation. The entire mixture soaks up with the intense color of the snakebait. You fill up a small wooden box. Okay, yeah. I don't think we have anything else that I really want to do or ask about here. And it is deep nighttime, so I guess let's just sleep. I would rather not lose a point of vitality at this moment. I think I'd rather pay 2 rations than a coin, right? We have a ton of food. And we can buy rations 3 for a coin down south, so we'll just trade food. The shivers wake you up. Foggy is standing by the open door, letting the dense fog in, with her back lit by a lantern. While she breathes slowly, her eyes are keenly observing the area, and after you focus, you hear the distorted shouts of roaming saurians. While I'm looking for a candle, I think of the many times I've heard parents telling their naughty kids that the fogs will take them. Yeah, letting the dense fog in seems like a weird thing to do in this place, given how people regard the fog. Okay. I approach Foggy. Does it cost us time to eat? It does cost us a little time to eat. But food is, food is good. We already paid for it. Travel, and it's not muddy, so we get to Creeks early enough to do the patrols, right? Early enough to work with the people? Hell yes. I have a day to spare, or do I? I'm going to spare a day. A few scantily clad people are on the bridge, greeting you as you ride by. On your way to the gate, a flock of sparrows takes off from the road, landing either on the watchtower or on the tree to your right. Let's ask around and see if locals need protection on the roads. The villagers need to deliver a few barrels to Foggy and stay around for a few hours to set up traps. Task will take you an entire day and may get dangerous. They'll feed me, but I don't need it. Yeah, alright. We'll pay a day. I had a... How entire day? Okay, pretty entire day, actually. At one point, you have to flee desperately towards safety. You're tired, and your clothes get torn in the process. But the locals won't need my services before day 24. Okay. Let's rinse off a little bit in the stream. Step away. I don't think we have anything else that we want to do or ask here, and I think we were told we would need to do that at least a couple of times before we would be able to get people to clear the road with us, right? 3:45. Yeah, this doesn't seem like a terrible time to go to Gale Rocks. We'll look for Fletcher's. We'll ask about the arrow. And we'll get, I think we still have Gambason repairs left, saved up, so. And we could sleep here if we wanted. The fishers have returned to the village, but the work is still far from being over. You see lights and smoke coming from the eastern part of the village, where the fish are being gutted and prepared for smoking. The guards instruct you not to disturb anyone after dusk, and tell you that you should visit Fulvia, who may have a room to spare. Yeah. Most of the locals greet you warmly, often addressing you by name. I'm looking for a Fletcher. A short man with absent eyes is leaning against the fence, spending his break observing the people gathered at the stools. He's wearing a torn shirt, patched together from wool in 2 shades of blue, and has his long hair in a ponytail. When you get closer, he spares you a warm smile. Cheers, stranger. You looking for me? That depends, you respond, and he tilts his head away, observing the sky. Right. I'm Floris. I make arrows. But I don't really sell them to outsiders. It's just our thing. It is. As his elbows rest on the wooden planks, his hands dangle loosely, and you notice that they are very clean and well kept, unusually so for an artisan. I have to say, I really do like the sort of like mini regional vocal tics and pronunciation things. I don't know. Maybe it's a little too dramatic for how small of an area this is, but these places are supposed to be like pretty isolated from one another under most circumstances, right? I don't know. It just makes the place feel a little bit more real to me in a way that I can't quite define. Yeah, no, that's fine. I don't use a bow. No, then no hard feelings. He titters, raises his hands to his head, stretches his back with a yawn, and gets to his stall-like spot, with a workbench covered with wooden staves, knives, sand, flint, quartz, and even obsidian. There are also oddly shaped tools that you can't really name. Everybody else thought about the cow tools, right? It wasn't just me. The man sits down on a chair. So you need something from me? Before you respond, you notice the already finished arrows sticking out from a tall basket. They're divided into handspan-sized bunches, each of which has fletching in different colors and sizes. You step closer, noticing that they also have varied thicknesses, lengths, and use different materials. Yeah, hey, why do your arrows have so many colors? He turns toward the basket and looks at the arrows as if he's just noticed them. Different needs, different arrows, he simply states, resting a hand on his knee. As our forebears learned after using many spells and tools to find the best combinations that these barren hills allow for, he nods, or with a nod, he draws your attention to the far east, with its sparse greens on harsh rock faces. The gray-feathered ones are for harpies, blue and yellow for critters you want to skin for their furs. You mentioned that there are arrows that have partially orange fletching, yet somewhat differ from each other. Right. Orange is for shells that walk on two legs. If they're also green, they're for goblins. Black are for humans, silver for beast folk. We don't shoot at trolls. No point. He shrugs. You think about the arrow you carry in your bundles. Orange and black. After you ask if the different types truly make a difference, he clicks his tongue. Maybe. I was taught that spells make it so, but I'm no enchanter. Doesn't hurt to be prepared. Yeah, tell me other stuff about your work. He hums to himself for a bit, tilting his head left and right, looking at various tools and parts in front of him. There's a lot to say, stranger, and I won't look for a successor anytime soon. After you suggest that he can be as brief as he would like to be, he shrugs. Then I don't know. I grab this. He reaches for a stave. Round it with this. He points at some sort of tool and then at the sand. Then cut the feathers, press them into a knock. That's this groove here. He lets you take a closer look and carries on. And then I make a proper head all by myself. You tie everything and there it is, an arrow. Seeing your confusion, he simply clears his throat and gets back to work. Well, I mean, wouldn't it be easier to make just the shafts for a day and then the heads on another one? With a good rhythm, you can make more arrows in less time. He speaks slowly, just discovering this idea together with you. More arrows, right. But doing the same thing over and over for hours? He leans away, with reluctance growing in his eyes by the second. That would be even more boring. I'd rather die, he says with an exaggerated sigh. We don't need to sell arrows, just to have enough of them. After you mention that this is the method that would be used in the city, he gives you a sorrowful glance. Nightmarish. Yeah, okay, fair enough. You hear angry shouts coming from one of the rock-carved houses, but they suddenly stop. I'm looking for someone. The person who was shouting. Okay. I didn't think that was going to yield anything. I'm going to keep... Severina wanted us to talk to people, wanted us to do things in town. I feel like we've done both of those things a bunch. Hey, Severina. Could you please repair my gambeson? It's going to cost me a whole hour, huh? So I guess we're staying here tonight if we're doing this. Might be a good idea, though. Yeah, we'll stay here tonight. It's fine. Check is as good as it's getting. I don't think we're going to have anything, yeah. But it was worth checking. With that being the case, I guess we could just go to sleep, right? I can't get back to Foggy's. It wouldn't matter anyway. We can't, won't be able to do anything tonight. We could step over to the pier and just see what it's like at night. Everybody's gone home. But maybe there will be a thing to scavenge? Otherwise, I'm just going to bed, so we may as well, right? The refreshing smell tempts you into taking a few deep breaths. There are no boats, nets, or fishers in sight, but there are countless boot prints and footprints in sight, both on the road and next to it. I approach the pier. Okay, yeah, there's nothing to do here. Fair enough. Kind of figured that'd be the case. Hey, who makes the nets? Like Weaver, maybe. I'm gonna really quickly just Google if there's a special word for a person who makes nets. This might be an ignorance problem on my part. Person who makes nets. Okay, it kind of looks like the word is just net maker. It doesn't seem to be anything fancy there. Nettler. Okay, yeah. All right, I think we probably don't have a lot of other people to meet here. We even have a marker for, like, I spoke with many of the locals and people regard me warmly and I'm kind of like well liked around town. It's just Severina doesn't want to talk to me about anything. I probably don't need a shield. I'm not used to using a shield. I don't really know how to fight with one. Yeah. I am, though, wondering about picking up a sewing kit. Because my clothes are fucked up. And my clothes get fucked up kind of a lot. And she could repair my outfit. But what if I just repaired my outfit myself now and then, you know, got, like, good at doing so? I think it's a lot of money, but it might be worthwhile. I'm expecting a trip through the heart of the wood to be very hard on my clothing, is the thing. I really have no idea if this is worthwhile. I'm gonna take it. All right, thank you. The needles, threads, and patches will help you fix the more outrageous damage that your clothes and boots have received. It's a time-consuming process, but that's what it'll take to camouflage your work and make your outfit presentable. The current poor condition of your clothes draws a lot of attention. Having hardly any experience with the needle, you have to work slowly. The more you practice, the less time it takes for you to complete the repairs. Well, we're at the end of our day already, so we can just spend some time here. And then that's got us... Yep, okay, cool. Your clothes need no special repairs, so we could, in fact, get back up to 4 appearance. And then we've acquired a little bit of sewing skill. Petronius... So we have a little bit of money. We could push with Petronius. I feel like we're already on his neighbor's good side. I don't know that I think anybody's going to know more about Asterion than we've already been told. We already know the people in town who sell equipment, I feel like. There's a question here about Fulvia that I think is interesting, but I think this is maybe the only one of these questions that I actually would even care to ask. I have 4 coins left. And I do not feel like I am secure that we will get to stay the night for free here. Let's sleep and then talk to him. How about that? We'll see how things go here. Okay, because it says rent 0, but the elder... Yeah, in return she requires an absurd payment or half a day of your labor. I think that we're going to get stuck on that. Alright. That's fine. After Fulvia blows out the candles, without considering if you're ready for it, you're in complete darkness, and you only now realize how quiet this room is. The thick walls block the humming of the wind, birds, and river. The keeper heads to her own room, and you only occasionally hear the whispers or snores of other dwellers. You can absolutely terrify yourself into into some fairly serious madness. I don't think that the people of Gale Rocks are going to betray me in some way now. I'm gonna say, right? They seem to like me okay. Everybody except Severina. But Severina, of course, has power in this place. I'm gonna finally some peace. I'm not in danger here. I believe that I am not in danger here. You're surrounded by darkness. You quickly gather your things and leave the room without a word from the keeper, who's sitting outside next to the open door. The village is hurriedly preparing for a busy day. The workers gather the wagons at the gates, push the barrels onto the barge, move equipment out of the sheds, and shove meals into their bags. The alleys aren't much calmer. Overseers are waking up their crews and discussing their goals and plans. The only souls that can afford a longer rest are the children and the elderly. Locals greet you warmly, addressing you by name, so I feel like I'm doing this Roadwarden thing correctly at least. And then I guess I'm good. It does seem like maybe I was not required to do either of the things, nor do I even know how I would pay or give service. Your face is dirty, but you seem healthy. Washer people. Okay, just curious. It just gave me an idea. Somebody's got to be washing the clothes, right? Okay. So we can't do anything in Creeks today anyway. We've searched the area around the old bridge. We've searched the area around the foraging grounds. These are the areas that would make the most sense to me for us to find hints of the other missing hunter, right? That or along the roads in the heart of the wood. Maybe. So fuck it, let's go for it. Let's let today be the day that we return to the heart of the forest. Before I do that, let me eat a little bit. So we're in as good a shape as we can be, and let's travel. So the gate should just be open now, right? No, that's right. I didn't actually get Quintus to leave yet. You hear breaking wood and roaring creatures in the east. Quintus looks at you from the top of the precipice that's near the tower. He crosses the parapet and leans forward. Warden, thanks for talking with Dalit. She brought me some supplies for my tusks and claws. Things could look better, but, you know. Hey, why are you afraid of Glacia? Warden, I can't talk about her. His shoulders slump, making him look like a wounded troll. I've got to look after the gate for her, or she'll hurt someone important to me. If she learns I'm telling stories about her, I'm dead too. Okay, that's important. Let's remember not to mention that. Yeah, listen, about that... No, okay. That's probably a thing that's worth putting some real money behind, but not right this second. Yeah, please open the gate. You lift the bar on your side of the gate and wait for Quintus. You hear him pressing his feet to the wall as he climbs down with the help of his rope, getting on the ground swiftly. He gives you a serious look from the open gate. So I could jump right to the other edge. Let's go back to the cairn in the middle of the forest. You approach monkey territory. The dwellers are still loud, throwing sticks, chestnuts, and acorns at you. At least there's no feces. Well, they're gonna make my clothes filthy. But I don't think I care that much. We'll wash in the river, we'll repair the damage. If I dismount and yell at them, it's very difficult for me to imagine. At the very least, we'd have a chance to look around more, but I don't want to get off my palfrey, I feel like. Right? I wonder. Wonder if I'm missing an opportunity here by not doing this. I suppose we could try it. Definitely makes me nervous. I think I'm going to go ahead and give it a shot here. I'm just going to see what happens. I don't think this is going to do anything. This seems like a bad option. Well, okay. So what I was about to say is this seems like a bad option, but why would it be here if it doesn't do anything? But no, I totally believe that there are options in this game, at the very least, that just allow you to harm yourself by being unwise. I'm just going to endure it. We're gonna take some cleanliness damage here. You shield yourself with your cloak, but one of the chestnuts hits your pinky pretty badly. Your palfrey snorts with frustration, at least once whining in pain. But even that, though even then, it stays in control. A few beasts get in front of you, slowing you down and mocking you with their screams, but they aren't goblins. They keep running back, limiting themselves to threats. Some of the monkeys follow you, swinging between the trees, shouting at you and trying to hit you with a stick. Once I'm away from them, I examine Agro and make sure Agro's okay. Seems like the answer is yes. A lonely bear gets startled by the clopping of hooves and flees among the trees on all fours. It turns its head twice, sending you an upset roar. I apologize. I'm not here to bother you. Alright, let's see this lumberjack hamlet. We were told about this lumberjack hamlet that was in the heart of the woods, right? You look for any path to follow, but to no avail. With some patience, you spot a couple places where the undergrowth has been trampled, branches and shrubs broken or cut by either humans or monsters. But none of them had been used regularly enough that it would turn into a trail. With a sigh, you put on your gloves and prepare your blade. There's not going to be any riding for now. You have to widen one of the trails enough for Agro to get through it. So I lead it with rope and use my axe to get through the thicket. After half an hour of chopping through leaves, you finally reach something that resembles a path. You get back in the saddle and ride uphill, following a convenient rocky trail, covered in sunlight, cleared of plants. Once you get to the top, you look around. From here, you get a good view of the heart of the woods, and spot the smoke coming from the villages far in the distance. The further path ends at the ravine. You look over the edge at the gentle brook far below. The hole is too wide to be crossed with a jump, even for Agro. You narrow your eyes. On the other side is a simple bridge made of logs and ropes, now rolled up and resting by a green shrub. I mean, it's just midday. I could really use a grappling hook here. I don't have one, though. Even though it may take a lot of time and effort, I'm going to try to walk around the gully. Moving downhill is filled with sweat and blood, as well as disappointment. To lead your palfrey down, you are forced to seek the gentlest slopes and ledges. Your arms are burning from swinging the axe. Thankfully, the small critters stay away from you, and you can rest at the crystal clear water while Agro quenches its thirst. Finally, you get back to the main road, which leads right back to the forest. But at least I can use the bridge on my way back. The trail is canopied by overhanging trees, and so narrow that your mount would struggle to turn around. Staying on foot, you grab the lead rope and follow the corridor carved in the lush thicket. I try to ignore the scent of rotting leaves. Soon after the path widens a bit, you notice a shell larger than your own torso. Its eight legs are as long as you are tall, clinging to a tree that's on your way. You freeze. The dark, hairy thorax matches the browns of the plants. Well, I'm glad I saw that. Examine this spider. What are you looking for? Spider. That's not going to do anything. It's large enough to hunt for humans. Its 8 legs are as long as you are tall. Yeah. Web? There's no web in sight. You're not sure how the spider manages to cling to the tree. Okay, look for a, I don't know what to call it. Like, some spiders dig like, traps, right? No. I mean, like, I know a trapdoor spider is called that because it creates a little, like, hollow in the ground. But I want to say there are hunting spiders that, like, essentially, like, they create a rudimentary snare, not like a web, but like a thing you could fall into. I don't know. I don't know if this is a real thing. So my only choices are turn around and look for something else, which I think is really interesting. Not allowed to eat right now. I'm not allowed to just, like, try to fight the spider or, like, throw a big rock at the spider. I don't know. Maybe I am. Maybe if I find a rock. I don't want to just turn around. I spent a lot of time getting over here. I would like to have something for my fucking efforts. What are you looking for or paying attention to? I don't think I'm going to be able to, like, climb around it. I was thinking, like, treetops, and I guess it's worth typing. They want something from me here, though. Look at its eyes. The eyes and fangs seem to never move. Tell me more about the trees in this area? The trees are young and lush, hardly reaching above the undergrowth and canopying the trail. Fallen twigs and bark were pushed off the trail. That's interesting. Can I look at the trail itself in more detail? The plants are pruned. You see hardly any grass. There are even footprints. Can I look at those footprints? Why are there footprints? You crouch. Some are fresh, yet there are no signs of combat by the spider's hideout. The spider's not moving at all. I look for something else. I look for the fake-ass fucking spider? No. I think the spider might be... This might be like a scarecrow. But I don't know how to tell my character to fucking just, like, disregard spider. I look for something else. Spider's legs? It might... I want to look for, like, maybe something... The way that it's being held up. Because it might just be fucking, like, nailed to this tree, right? I don't think this spider is real, but I don't know how to communicate that to my character. Nails. Another path? Nothing. So I said I should turn around. It's going to take us back to the middle. Okay, so coming back here, I'm allowed to note that the spider isn't moving. So far, the spider hasn't moved an inch. I poke it with a stick. You step slowly, picking up a long branch resting at the side of the trail. Once you tap the abdomen, you let out a relieved sigh. You observe the spider's dried-out shell. In such a humid place, you'd expect it to rot. Agro pulls the lead, begging to turn around. No, buddy, don't worry. It's not a real spider. Okay, so we had to do that in kind of a weird way, but I figured it out. Also, we just earned a new thing. I visited every settlement in the peninsula. Cool. The path is beaten, yet your mount has to step over branches, large rocks, and even animal bones. While the trees aren't pruned, they grow sparse enough for you to have a good view of your surroundings. A pile of rotting logs, the remains of food, and even a broken wagon rest at the feet of the crag. You look up. The palisade has a massive gap in it, which now serves as a vantage point for a person you can't see clearly. They're holding an arrow on their strung bow, and while they aren't aiming at you, they'd have enough time to shoot before you got off the saddle. "You've a horse," the masculine voice announces loudly, then stares at you. "Thought a mad deer was running, I did. Almost shot it in the nose." Another pause. "Who?" I shout back, "Samhain, a Roadwarden." The archer crouches, as if watching you from 2 feet closer is going to make a difference. He shouts, but more so towards someone behind the wall. "Wait, another Roadwarden? Oh, you sure do look like you rode through 10 swamps. Head up, but I've my eyes on you, I do." So this is a very sort of like Creeksy dialect. The hamlet could be a generation old, and while the freshly beaten paths, spread trash, and newly fallen trees and gathered rocks make it clear that the dwellers are still altering their surroundings, the woods around you are filled with wildlife, crowding in the tree crowns, grasses, and trunks. A boar flees up the path, keeping its eyes on you as it runs. A dragonling is drinking from the pond you just rode by. There are a few people gathered at the gate, and more of them approach you from behind. You count 8 of them in total, with only one female face among them. All are younger than 40, with weapons at their sides or in their hands. Simple flails, 2-handed axes on long hafts, maces, spears, and throwing clubs. Equipment so heavy and unwieldy that you can't be sure if it's meant to threaten you or to get through the skin of nearby monsters if necessary. Some of the villagers, some of those who came through the gate have bare chests, displaying their scars and bandages, but others are wearing heavy jackets and look nothing like the pure farmers seeking shelter for a night. They observe your mount in silence, together with the curious rooks sitting on top of the wall. I am not going to try to threaten everybody. I get down slowly, keep my open hands in the air. I can count. I know what the situation is. Okay, this is exactly what I was hoping for. One of the strangers nods in approval, while another gestures for you to step away from your mount, making sure you're not hiding anything. All right, leave here every blade. Tie the beast somewhere. He points his thumb behind him, leading your eyes to a loose stake of the palisade. Glossie is on her way, he adds matter-of-factly, as if to a regular waiting for an alehouse keeper. You follow his commands, waiting with the dwellers in silence. From afar, you hear the heavy footfalls of the person who joins you soon after. Her massive winter boots are made of leather that still remembers the garnet dye of the past, and have wide and firm heels. The bronze of the decorative buckles is polished, without a hint of green. Her emerald eyes are running over your mountain equipment, reaching your face last, and with little curiosity. She's broad-shouldered, with a muscular figure and round face. Her long, shining mail rests on a green akaton, making noise with every movement of her arms. Her right hand is tapping the hilt of the sickle sword, a broad blade meant for chopping not just flesh but also twigs, sheathed at her side. The short, dark hair of a fighter is carefully cut, and her skin is healthily tanned. Hey, that's not necessarily... The sun's dangerous. Wear sunscreen, kids. It takes another few breaths for you to notice the other side of her appearance. While she's wider than anyone in sight, she's more than a head shorter than you, and I think we've established I'm not particularly tall, right? You spot the gray strands of her hair and wrinkles cut by scars on her cheeks and lips. Her hand is missing a thumb, explaining why the blade is on her right side, and an old bruise surrounding her left eye hinders her from fully opening it, so it's difficult for you to match her gaze. So we have two options where we regard her as somebody who's playing at bandit leader, but I think we have reason to believe that she's quite formidable, right? I'm going to say she must be... I'm going to think to myself, she must be quite a fighter. And listen, you don't fake losing a thumb in the right, like... Oh, got another thing. A palfrey this time. Her confident, powerful voice matches her straight posture. She reaches for the bottom of Agro's neck, slowly, allowing it to accept the touch after a moment of hesitation. It's more for running than combat, I believe. The Saurian was dangerous, but slower, without much stamina. You look for a reason why she would lecture you about your own trade, then notice the curious eyes of her band, listening to every word. It may be the first horse they've ever seen. Stranger, she looks at you again and steps back. I heard about your arrival to the peninsula, but didn't expect we'd see you at our doorstep. We don't have much to discuss. Tell me you ain't stupid enough to provoke my hand. Yeah, I mean, I would like to, be okay. I would like to not provoke your hand, ideally. This is dumb. Don't do this. She says we don't have much to discuss. I counter, well, I do have a few questions for you. Threatening is... Okay, I'll say this. This is not actually threatening. This is like... This is more of a business, like, I understand... We all understand where we stand here, but I want to talk to you. And they might respect that sort of show. I don't know. It doesn't feel in character, though. Vulnerable here is not, I think, totally out of line either. Again, just like recognizing they seemed to take it pretty well when I got off the horse carefully with my hands raised. I don't have any interest in like trying to play, like trying to flex, right? She just told me she doesn't think we have much to discuss. So I don't feel like this is the hit. I'm gonna go distance. Let's kind of play it slow here. Well, I have a few questions for you. She raises her chin, looking at something above you. Do I look like someone who hopes to prattle with an outsider? Say yes and you'll lose your teeth, she adds before you let out a word. For all I know, you're yet another city spy. If I were to learn you're here more to hinder our work, she pauses, than to fight beasts, I'd have a light heart letting you bleed out your neck right where you are. You look to your left and right. No matter how many hours of training you have behind you, the sheer number of opponents would overwhelm you. But let us leave the threats for later. Take a stroll with me. I ain't missing a chance to enjoy the rest of the summer. She heads north, and before you decide what to do next, someone pushes you forward with the blunt edge of a spear. Okay, I was gonna follow. I go north. The neglected path leads to a pond, though the rocks sticking out of the ground, fallen branches, and the rotten deck covering a wide puddle. There are some signs of repairs made on the bridge for fishers, but there are also some broken logs and a boat with a large hole in its hull. Glaucia and two of her guards walk with you in silence, surrounded by the screeching beasts around you and above you. She takes leisurely strides, and as you step onto the bridge looking across the pond, you can see that the woods surround it from all sides, like the walls of a dungeon chamber, with green and gray saurians basking both on the banks and in the shallow water. The frogs, flies, and black birds shatter any guise of peace. The wood beneath you is slippery. Whenever the woman makes a sudden movement, you flinch, preparing your shell to push her away. I feel like there's no good reason to be nervous here. Again, if something bad's gonna happen, it's just gonna happen. Don't have any doubts, she speaks calmly, looking in the distance. I have little trust to offer you, and even less patience. It's better that we meet this way instead of on the road. She turns toward you and moves her hand behind her back. But if you have no good reason to talk to me, you can scat right away. This land needs no soldiers, Roadwarden, and chiefly no city folk. Yeah, okay. I think we're kind of on the same page there, honestly. This is just being an asshole. I could use your knowledge to help people. That's true. Maybe I just tell her you've been hurt. Yeah, I'm following. That's not what it's about. I'm not sure if... I don't think she's necessarily opposed broadly to helping people here, but I'm not sure if she trusts me enough to read this as legitimate or as me trying to like butter her up. I'm gonna say you've been hurt. I get you. I'm following. Now we'll see about that. I'll judge your deeds, not words. Without another word, she leads you back, then through the gate. The old rotting roof of the only building is starting to bend under its own weight, but its condition is only slightly worse than that of the area around it. The broken tools, soggy planks and logs, the broken fence of an animal pen, and the waist-high nettle leaves growing on every scrap of ground that's not been beaten down by boots. The hamlet smells of putridity. The screeching of animals isn't as overwhelming here, but unlike in the other settlements, there's hardly any labor to fill the emptiness. The bandits either follow you or sit around idly. There's firewood gathered by the wall, and you see someone eating a piece of cold roasted meat, but it seems like no one is eager to grab a hammer, a needle, or a carving knife. Glaucia doesn't stop, making you follow her around the long shelter. She keeps her eyes straight ahead, not commenting on anything you walk by. With every step, her mail jangles slightly, breaking the silence. Your eyes either wander around or stare at the back of her head. Okay. I feel like we could maybe offer her some help with the place. Like, we have that withering powder, right? If we could get rid of the nettles here at the very least, she might appreciate that. I'm going to lead with business, though. She thinks we don't have anything to talk about. Let's try to prove that that's not the truth. I'm trying to find out what happened to Asterion. She doesn't spare you a glance. So, can you help me? Why would I? She doesn't wait for your answer. I need nothing that you could fit in your saddles. Do me a few favors and we'll see. All right, fair enough. What do you need? She stops in place, then gestures at a soggy bench. Both of you sit down, but your eyes don't meet. Instead, you observe the dark birds that are pushing and pecking each other over old gruel spread among the nettles. And why would a Roadwarden want to help me? Well, I mean, I feel like this is kind of a strange question, given that we just established. Like, this is a weird question for her to ask if you've had an interaction with her just prior, where she says, I would help you out with that if you did some stuff for me. I mean, to be rewarded is the right answer. We all need friends, don't we, is a little... I mean... I don't know. This isn't necessarily wrong either. But again, I worry about the... I worry about the appearance that I'm trying to manipulate her, right? I'm wondering if perhaps this is a person that we can just play very, very straight with, that we should play very, very straight with. I wouldn't mind being friends. This is true. I just don't know. I'm going to say to be rewarded. I'm going to try to play really straight with her. She gives you a puzzled look, then nods. So, I've met 2 from your trade this year, and both of them are but mercenaries with a mount. I'd expect as much from the city folk. All right, I'll have a few things to offer you. She leans back and looks at the clouds. One of my lads has abandoned his post and has taken something very valuable to me. He wants to start his life anew, so he won't use his name, but you'll recognize him. Speaks like someone from my village, he does. While her tone is sarcastic, her eyes remain serious. Young, strong, with the pretty face and blue eyes of a beaten cub. Shaves often. The last tog he had on his back was our black gambison, matching his short hair. But if he has any wits, he sold it somewhere already. Speaks like someone from my village, he does. I'm trying to remember, did we encounter anybody who has this vocal tick who wasn't in Creeks? When she crosses one leg with the other, her mail clinks so loudly it makes you flinch. She reaches for her boot, adjusting it with her broad fingers. He doesn't want to be found, but he may need a Roadwarden's help. If so, merely tell me where he hides, and I'll find him all right. She straightens up and rises to her feet, as if the conversation has reached its conclusion. I'll drop you a few coins for the trouble. 4, maybe. Or I could give you a handful of arrows for a crossbow. I don't need them, really. Yeah, any tips where to start? If I knew how to answer that, I'd have gone after him already. He was cautious, left our hunting group to take a leak, then sneaked away. The band assumed he got caught by a cat, but I told them to search our supplies. I doubt he took them for a walk, all right? I don't know that this is a moment to lie to her. My suspicion is that if I lied to her and say, oh, yeah, maybe I found the corpse already, she's just going to be like, oh, well, then you're of no value to me. What did he take from you? A small supply of black powder I was saving for a special occasion, for one thing. I'd be ready to forgive him, but betraying my trust and taking our secrets outside is way beyond excuses. Alright, I'll tell you if I learn anything. Let me see if we can press to get her maybe a little bit, to get her to open up a little bit without having to do this task. You may want to stay away from old Pagos. It's been struggling with a plague. She glances at you with her unmarked eyebrow raised, making the difference between the sizes of her eyes even more jarring. You think I don't know what's happening in my land? I don't need your rumors. Okay, don't lie to her. is a thing that I'm drawing from this. She has a lot of information. I think the necklace belongs to her? I don't. Really, honestly, I don't. Can you tell me anything about the undead in the north? Let's see if she's willing to just speak with us on like a totally neutral topic. Her armor clinks so loudly that a nearby rook flutters its wings, dashing to the wall. They are around. She meets your eyes, tapping the hilt of her sword. Why do you ask? Well, they need to be dealt with, of course. Because we already know she's been harassing White Marshes, right? We know that's the thing she agrees with. She stares at you, then nods vigorously and turns away, carrying on with her walk. You've got a clear eye. There are some undead in the darkest thickets and caves, but they ain't anything more than a gentle rash on a shell filled with poison. White Marshes, with their dark arts and crazy warlocks, are the real danger, and a part of our work is taking any bone we can get away from them. You ask her to say something more, and she slows down. They ain't merely using their own dead, outsider. They seek the shells in the woods. They scavenge for them like. She waves at one of the rooks, which opens its mouth in objection. Shame on the villages that let them do so. May the right drown them all. Okay, so she's into the right. She's a follower. I mean, I guess that makes sense given where she's from, but I'm gonna offer her the necklace. I'm gonna see if this is hers. So we offer the necklace. Hearing you reach for something, she leaps away and turns toward you rapidly, but seeing the trinket, she stands still with an open mouth. After a few heartbeats, she clears her throat and reaches toward you with an open, four-fingered palm. So it is, stranger, but I ain't one to keep around sentimental rubbish. She glances at her boots. Cheers, I guess. How do we want to follow this up? Do I want to tell her, like, how much value is there on impressing on her that we know she's from Creeks? It doesn't, or from, not Creeks, Gale Rocks. It doesn't seem like a super useful, I don't know. This shows her that we are somewhat formidable in terms of information as well, which is maybe useful. And it brings up the fact that we've been to the Western Beach, which maybe brings into the conversation the fact that we get along with Agidia, which could be of value to us, maybe? I don't have any idea how she feels about it. Are we just, like, what is the value of this? Is what I'm wondering. Is this just, like, trying to stoke her nostalgia or homesickness a little bit? I don't know that she's... I believe her about the sentimental rubbish thing, even with the obviously very old boots, because they seem like nice boots. I don't know that that's, like, something she's doing out of sentiment. I hold the necklace a bit longer than necessary. It was at the Western Beach. Looking for ways to broaden your trade? She looks at the necklace in silence, then throws it into the nettles. And if so, if you plan to keep your ugly nose, she turns away without so much as a scowl. You should also look for some safer opportunities. Okay, all right, I get it. She's not impressed by our ability to keep abreast of what's going on. You've made Pelt's innkeep quite worried with your recent moves. She slows down. The two of you approach the old animal pen, though right now it's inhabited only by rocks and worms. She leans against the soggy fence, which moans in protest. Her emerald eyes don't hide her surprise, or perfectly imitate it. I suppose I should have accepted Jason's boar eyes on me, but what does he want you to get from me exactly? Well, to learn what you're trying to achieve, are you planning to attack his hunters? It takes her unusually long to answer. All right, tell him this, stranger. Don't sweat. The right leads my blade and dreams against the necromancers of White Marshes. Also, bed with an ibex. I'm gonna leave that last part off, I think. I'd love to learn more about you. She doesn't even stop. Hire yourself a bard, she growls. Yeah, that's fair. So she was not impressed with our information gathering capabilities earlier. That doesn't mean that it's definitely useless to talk to her about the past, but I do worry. We could talk to her about this. I'm still not sure if I think, I was kind of hoping that we would have the opportunity to, look around at her people and see whether they are using arrows that come from Gale Rocks, or whether she herself has a quiver with arrows that are fletched that way. I mean, it would kind of make sense, right? Her being from Gale Rocks and everything. I found an abandoned cart on the Eastern Trail. She keeps her pace, forcing you to stare at her hair, then steps outside of the gate, looking around. This is where I'm going, but do I want to try to, and you dropped this arrow there. She freezes, then turns around too quickly for you to notice how it ends up in her hand. Your fingers are aching for the next few minutes. Cheers for returning it to me. She scowls at you and throws the arrow to one of her guards. I ain't gonna explain myself to you. We needed tools and wares to sell, so we took them. The merchants are back in their homes, with their skin untouched and togs on their back. They knew the risk and took it. You flinch when she reaches for your shoulder, but someone is already behind you, keeping you in her range. Her strong hand squeezes your flesh. Do we have a problem here? I mean, I think we need to not project weakness here, but this kind of shit is just... There's a narrow line to walk between seeming like you are just stable and seeming like you are trying to seem tough, which is a projection of weakness. Is maybe the most serious projection of weakness. I don't like this one. I don't like this one. Maybe, I don't know. It depends on... I try to shake her hand off me as too much. Right, that makes me look afraid, I think. I could just try to withstand her gaze. I'm nervous that if I try this and it doesn't work, she's gonna probably mock me, or she's definitely gonna think I'm weak. This is the truth. I don't actually care. I just needed to know. I'm wondering, though, what the benefit would be of just keeping her eye, right? I guess I don't know that I think even if we were to succeed at doing so without flinching, I don't know what the benefit would be. I shake my head slowly. I needed to know the truth, that's all. You needed, did you? Oh, shit. You sigh with relief when she releases your shoulder, but then her strong fingers start to pat the front of your neck. And I need you to know your place. Her hand forms a fist and hits your chest gently. Don't be a kid. Some questions are better left unanswered. Her emerald eyes weigh on you heavier than her touch. She walks away slowly, gesturing for you to follow. What else? Okay, so she definitely does not want us. This is not a situation where she's gonna respect somebody for being tough like her. She has a need to feel in control here. That makes me think more and more that bringing up her past is maybe a bad idea. And I think, pressing her on the Asterian thing, I just don't think it's going to be useful until we've until we've done what she wanted us to do. We know why she targets white marshes. This is a stupid question. I think we're done here. Yeah, all right. I should go. I have work to do, apparently. You get back to Aggro. The highwaymen stay close to you, but not allowing you to approach your blade. I head to the pond. A man with a bare chest gets in your way. And where do you think you're going? We need no spy eyes around here, and we aren't going to keep your ugly mug safe from monsters. Buy yourself a tub and an inn. Fucking alright, I travel back. I was just going to wash my face, asshole. Alright, yep, the bear's tired of my bullshit. 5 hours. I'd like to go to Creeks. I think it would be, it would maybe be a good idea to go to Creeks, check for the person that fled her band there, and then we can sort of make a move, sort of counterclockwise from there back down toward the Beholder or the gate or whatever. So if we're gonna do that, we want to head east. Well, that was definitely useful information. Aggro trots forward, keeping its eyes on the pond, when one of the logs breaks under the hooves. You let go of the reins and land on the rotten wood, while your palfrey squeals in either pain or surprise, falling on its side. It panically, that's not quite a word, tries to get up. A broken leg, the fear whispers in your ear. It won't ever heal itself, and you're not going to find a mage in the middle of nowhere, especially not a horse healer. I crawl away, then get back on my feet. You sigh with relief. Aggro walks in place, afraid and angry, but of healthy shell. Some of your belongings are spread around, but they're all right too. The beast violently swishes its tail, as if to murder any fly in its way. It stamps with a hind leg. The sound of the crushed wood echoes through the water. It tosses its head, looks around, and snorts. Its ears are pinned back. I think we seem to have a good enough rapport that I'm hoping my voice will be useful here. I calm it down with the sound of my voice. Relax, Aggro. Everything's fine. It shakes its head and takes a step toward you. Does chamomile oil calm horses? I give it time to look around. You step away, but Aggro is close to a panic attack. You move your hands, hoping to draw its attention. I am not going to try to touch it in this moment, I think. Stay calm, breathe deep. Don't do anything that's going to panic the horse, right? Fingers crossed? Okay, Mount's barely aware of your presence, too focused on its surroundings. Do I just give it time to look around? Yeah, it doesn't do anything. I'm a little concerned here, not really sure what to do. I mean, we can try the flask. I'm a little worried that, like, moving my hands near its face is going to provoke a reaction. But let's try this. You swing it in the air, but Aggro tosses its head away, paying no attention to the scent. Okay. So the thing is, we're going to have to get Aggro's attention then, right? Move slowly, show up my hands. It spares you a glance, then another one, and then observes your movements. As you freeze with your hands raised, Aggro makes a slight turn, trusting you won't attack it as it seeks threats behind it. Its ears are still pointing backwards, but are no longer pinned back. It's listening. Alright. I ask it to lower its head? No, it's still too afraid. You consider grabbing the reins. No. Alright. So it's listening to me. I'm going to try appearing calm again. You exaggerate each breath, straighten up, and put on a gentle smile. Aggro fixes its eyes on you and makes a final snort, still ready to run away if you turn out to be a monster in disguise. Okay. Yeah, no, it's good. We're fine. still too afraid, ask it to lower its head. You gesture for it to follow the movement of your hand, encouraging it with a warm voice. After you step closer, it flinches, but it doesn't move away. I'm trying like the least invasive option first every round here. Can I let it smell the flask? You open the flask and move it near the horse's nose. Agro takes a few deep breaths. You've used hundreds of flowers to fill this little vessel, but it was worth the effort. Your mount shakes its head and nickers. I just give it a second. You step away, allowing Agro to get familiar with its surroundings. It then lowers its head, observing the hole that trapped its hoof. The heavy animal has made a hole, pressing the sodden wood in, without really breaking the log. After a few minutes, your palfrey seems more curious than afraid, and I give it a little pet. You reach out to it with an open hand. It stands still, allowing you to touch it above the nostrils, then steps closer. You rub its skin, still speaking to it. Speaking some nonsense, because horses don't speak English. I get back in the saddle. Agro keeps its head low, its ears slightly pricked forward. The tail is loose. It flinches after you grab the saddle, so you give it time to take a deep breath. Soon, you're ready for the further journey. You pat your palfrey's neck, and we ride forward. Okay, thank God. I thought something was going to go real sideways there. Okay, I need to get out of the fucking... Alright. I apologize. I am really out of time. I was trying to get out of the heart of the forest before stopping the episode for the day, but I'm really, really out of time, so I'm going to have to call it here. That's it for us for today. Thank you all so much for watching. What I have done here is crafted a moment of great suspense. Something terrible is about to happen to us on our way out of the wood. Come back next time to find out what and whether or not I survive it. And we'll see you then.